If you guys lacking coins for all the new cards that are out, then check out mulefactory.com. They're the cheapest site I've found for coins. They deliver in 5 minutes, and if you use TGC Kurt5 at checkout, you get 5% off your order. Check them out with the link down below now. What's up, guys? Curtis here, and welcome to a brand new FIFA 10 to FIFA 17 video. Today, we have one that I think should be really interesting to look back through some of the players. We're going to be looking at players that have quite dramatically changed positions throughout the last 7 years of FIFA. Whether that's for a one-off in form or whether that is just their general play. They've gone from a left back to a right winger. Whatever has happened, we'll look through 11 players today. We're going to do a whole squad's worth. If you guys could smash that like button, that would be absolutely fantastic. And of course, subscribe if it is your first time watching. As always, I want to thank you guys for the support on this series. We haven't had an episode yet get less than 100,000 views, which is pretty mental, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. So, without any further ado, we're not going to dilly-dally too much. I am going to say, if you have any ideas of topics like this you'd like to see, of players that have changed from FIFA 10 to 17, smash them in the comments down below, and hopefully I'll try and do your suggestions. So, we're going to start off with Felipe Melo. Now, this one's a one-off position change. If we look through his cards now, we're going to go quite quickly through them. We'll start off, FIFA 10, he was at Juve. He had an 80 rated card. FIFA 11, 78 rated card. FIFA 12, 79 rated card. FIFA 13, an 81 non-rare. These are all pretty simple ones. They're going quick across the screen. But then it was his inform in FIFA 13, which I'm actually going to put on the screen. That was the big position change. He had a goalkeeper bronze inform. If you guys remember it, he went in goal after the goalkeeper got sent off and saved a penalty and got an inform in goal. It's absolutely unreal. I couldn't begin to imagine that now, how cool that would be. I believe he ended up being like the first goalkeeper to not have like 1-star skills and stuff. It was just absolutely unreal. Such a cool card in my opinion, and yeah, definitely mixed it up a little bit. Then we'll skip all the way through the rest of his cards because they are all defensive midfield cards, just different clubs. That's about that. Next up, we have David Alaba. Whilst he was at Bayern Munich, of course, for his FIFA 11 card, that's going to be the first one. I forgot for a second, then I had to put them on the FIFA squad too. Back in FIFA 11. Guys, I'm not sure some people realise as well, like the effort that these videos take, even just to do the sliding thing, takes me so long, so apologies there's such a big gap between all of them. But anyway, Alaba is our left back. We go back to FIFA 11 for the 12th time for his left mid card. He was 66 rated. He did actually get an inform at Hoffenheim that season, but a 66 rated card in the left mid. Pretty decent, but that's not what you know him as now. The following season, he had a centre mid card. It shows just how versatile he is. But FIFA 12, centre mid card. He also had a team of the season at left back. So obviously throughout the whole season, he was starting to get played at left back more. That of course meant in FIFA 13, he had his first ever proper left back card. His first gold card too. 77 rated. The stats look unreal. He was properly hyped up even back in FIFA 13. Then we go forward one more year. Again, just some left back cards. One more is another left back card. But these are where some interesting ones come. So FIFA 15, he had a centre back inform card. FIFA 16, he had a defensive mid, which I'm going to put on the screen now. This was when they did the position change cards, like just the special edition ones. But he also had an inform at centre back as well. So many cool position changes in his years. And then, of course, FIFA 17, it's the same as it always will be, is his left back card. Next up, we're going to go on to a guy called Luis Fuentes. This is one that I actually remember at the time when he had his position changes cards. He's playing for 2 different clubs you can choose from at the moment. You can either go for either one in the Mexican division. I'm going to go for this one because I prefer their kit. So we're going to go back to FIFA 12 for this one. That's the furthest we can go back. And at UNAM, he was actually a left midfielder, which is, I mean, kind of similar to a left back. Depending on the system, you find that quite a lot. Left mids end up coming back to left backs. But it wasn't like he went straight from left mid to left back. He went from left mid to FIFA 13 when he had a centre-back card, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. 80 pace. The card looks pretty decent. And then the rest of the season as well, we'll just skip all the way through them. They're just all left-backs. He did actually get a team of the season last year, which is interesting. But yeah, just left-back for every card for the remainder of his time. Next up is a player that's always been a bit of a versatile player. You always see him in a different position every single season, it feels like. That's Asamoah. If we go back to FIFA 10, he had his Udinese card, central midfield, 81 rated. It's a really good card. That's the sort of card now that would be used a ton, especially if he got an inform. Following season, he had a pretty huge downgrade, actually, and his rating wasn't very good. But the FIFA 12, with that 75 rated card, he also had an 81 rated man of the match, which looks unbelievable. Go have a little look at that one for you, yourself, you guys. Anyway, once you get onto FIFA 13, though, it's quite an interesting one. He started off with a centre mid card, then he had a left mid upgrade, which I'm sure you can see on the screen. Then he also had a left back in form, which I'll try and include on the screen as well, which is pretty mental. Such a change there throughout the season to have 3 different positions. I can't remember the last time that happened. Actually, it probably has with informs. As someone like Arnautovic, maybe last year. I know he's had his left mid and right mid. But then after that, he had left mid for every season up until this one, and then he's back to centre mid now for Juventus. So a bit of an interesting shift across like that bottom left-hand triangle. Next up, we have Ilsinho. This guy is a bit of a FIFA legend if you guys used to play back in the day. I'm surprised he didn't get one of the FUT birthday cards. I really am. Right mid, playing for, I believe that's Philadelphia Union, right? Yeah, if we go back to FIFA 11, you'll see his right wing back card. Now, the interesting thing about this one is that although he's a right wing back, he's basically a fullback. He had 5-star skills. It's the only time for a while that there was any fullbacks other than obviously Azevedo on the left-hand side that had 5-star skills. So back when Brasilvas were a thing, he was absolutely hype beyond belief. Following season, though, he went all the way from right wing back to a cam for his next card in FIFA 12. And then he isn't on the game FIFA 13. He's on for FIFA 14 in cam again for Shakhtar. And then 15 and 16, he's out of the game and he's come back in now at Philadelphia Union as a right midfielder. He's sorted out his haircut. He looks a lot older, but he does still have 5-star skills, which I think is quite nice, kind of taking it back to the good old days. Now, we're going to go into our right midfield here with Xherdan Shaqiri, and in fact I am going to change the formation slightly between these because I did have a formation in mind when putting everyone together, but Xherdan Shaqiri has definitely had his fair share of different cards across the FIFA years. There's so many to go through, so we're going to scroll back now to FIFA 10, where he started off as a left back playing for Basel. The card is absolutely horrific. It's a bronze card. It does not look good whatsoever. You would never ever end up using this card. It's not very good. Then he had a left mid card at Basel. He's moving further forward. He had an inform that year. He was starting to become a little bit more of a complete player. Following season, again, he had a left mid, but he also had his team of the season in right mid. So that meant when he got his move to Bayern in the next year, in FIFA 13, that he had a right midfield card. That's key. That here he's got left mid, left back, left mid, right mid. You tend to find that happens quite a lot because the left backs usually are left-footed for their crossing. They move further up into the left mid for their crossing, and then they realise they've got a good shot and they go on the other side of the pitch, so then they can cut inside. I feel like that's quite a common thing. Then until FIFA 13-14, it was right mid cards. He did actually have a Stoke card in FIFA 15 as a cam, as well as informs at both Inter and Bayern in the cam positions. His base card was right mid, but his Stoke base card was a cam. So that's pretty interesting. Following season, he then is back to right mid, and that's where he's been for the last little while. I do remember Shaqiri had his Switzerland cards as attacking mid. I believe one of the informs came from that. But anyway, next up we have Gonzalo Castro. This is quite a cool one, given that now he's kind of at a bit of a bigger club, he's doing quite well for himself. If we go back to FIFA 10, Castro actually started off as a right back, and that was the same for him in FIFA 11. As well as having his right back card, though, he also had a left mid in form for Bayer Leverkusen, which I think is very, very unusual. But right back cards all round. Following season again at right back in FIFA 12. And then FIFA 13, he mixes it all up again. Right mid card with a cam 83 team of the season. So this guy has played so far in, 4 positions. FIFA 14 is on right mid. FIFA 15 again, back to centre mid, as well as having a DM and a cam card. And then he's been centre mid for the last 2 FIFAs as well. But an absolutely ridiculous turn of events through all of those first few years, where he definitely went through a bunch of different positions. Next up is Christian Ansaldi. This guy's quite an interesting one. There's not too many changes here. Basically, just one big one, in all honesty. And that was why I included it. I just thought it was such a big jump, and it made me think of what I mentioned about the Shaqiri one. So we're going to go back to FIFA 11. He's at left wing back. We're going to skip through these really quickly. Left wing back for FIFA 11. Left back in Russia, Rubin Kazan, is that? It is Rubin Kazan for FIFA 12. And then 2 more Russian cards, both at left back. Pretty simple there. Then you get to FIFA 15, he's still at left back. Still at left back. Last season he actually got a team of the season at left back. We're all the way up to FIFA 16 now. But the card that I wanted to show you was his right mid. He got an inform at right mid, and I just feel like that's really interesting that a left back, you couldn't imagine, say, Kieran Gibbs or Nacho Monreal doing it, but it's such a common thing to happen where left backs end up at right mid. And we do have another player still in the episode, which I'm sure you guys have worked out already, that is like that. But we're not going to go on to him just yet. We're going to go on to a guy called Cadbury. Now, this one is quite interesting to me. He's a bit of a different player. He's got a card now where he's got his Minnesota United one and then a card in Denmark for Copenhagen. We're going to do his Minnesota United one because it's a bit more interesting. This one, though, we only go back as far as FIFA 12 with his striker card. I assume that's just playing in the Danish league. And he has the same one for FIFA 12 and 13, a striker card. But wait till it gets interesting. In FIFA 13, he had an inform as a left back. That's absolutely mental. Such a cool situation again to go from striker to left back. Could you imagine Danny Welbeck playing left back? I mean, you probably could actually. That could happen. Yeah, I guess you could imagine it. Just seems mental though. Absolutely ridiculous. And then from then on, he kind of found his home, not as a striker anymore, despite his informs and all his special cards. Both 15, 16 and 17, he was left mid for every single version of his card. And that is basically how he stayed until now. So, we're going to go on to our second to last now. I'm sure you guys worked out which one this was slightly earlier. And that is Gareth Bale. This guy obviously is one of the most versatile players. I'm going to see if I can find a way now to get it on the screen. But if you scroll down, more than any other player, I think, he has more special cards on FIFA and more versions of his cards. There's not a year where he doesn't have at least 3 cards. It's mental. So he starts off in FIFA 10 with his left back, 76 rated. He does get an upgrade to a left mid later on in the season. Yeah, he started off as just a 76 left back. Following season though, he's now a left midfielder. 81 rated card with an 84 upgrade again. Looks absolutely sick. A bunch of informs. He was obviously tearing it up at Tottenham at the time. Following season, left mid again. He's just getting more and more attacking. All of his stats, look at the increase on some of those stats. He's gone from like 72 shooting to like low pace to just those stats already. It's already looking mental. Plus, he had a 90 team of the season that year. Following season, he is still at Tottenham. For the first half of the season, he has his left mid card. He has a cam in form at Tottenham. And then he moves to Real Madrid at the end of that season and gets a centre forward card. We won't include that one on the screen because he still has it the following year. So despite being left back and left mid, he now has a centre forward card. As well as the centre forward card at Real Madrid, he gets 2 standard right mid informs, a left wing man of the match, and a right mid team of the season card. Mental. Following season, right mid card with a centre forward inform. Season after that, right mid with a right wing, striker, cam, right wing special cards. That's mental that he had 7 special cards, as well as a footies striker, not footies, the position change that they released for their birthday. And then of course this year he's just been right wing, and he's been injured for a lot of the season, so he's not been able to do as much as he probably would have liked. Hopefully we'll see some more versions of him as the season runs down. But we're going to finish it off now with a legend of the game, and that's Tati. I included Tati just for how dramatic each position change was. And it reminds me actually of Michu, who basically goes from centre mid to striker to centre mid to just like that, which is really interesting. But he started off as a centre forward in FIFA 10, 89 rated. He stays at a centre forward or a striker for a few seasons. We'll skip through him now. You can see FIFA 11 centre forward. He did have an inform in centre mid though. FIFA 12 striker, FIFA 13 centre forward. FIFA 14 is a left wing. It's hard to picture Tati as a left winger, especially only just 2 seasons ago when he didn't have any pace. He was very slow. But I'm assuming he was kind of just playing off a striker. There's no way he's like actually being a full-on winger. And that's about it really. It's 2 centre forward cards again. But the whole point for me was that he was getting informs in centre mid. He had a centre mid inform in FIFA 10, centre mid inform in FIFA 11. The left wing informs. I just find that so fascinating that someone like Tati is going back to playing centre mid. Such a clinical striker, you just can't picture it. But boys, that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you did enjoy it. Subscribe to this channel if you're new around here. Smash that like button. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.